thưa quý vị, xin cảm ơn quý vị đã trở lại với Phương Thảo Talk Show. Và ngày hôm nay thì Phương Thảo đang nói chuyện với Grand Prairie Housing Authority về những cái program mà họ có dành cho những người low income hoặc là những người có đủ điều kiện để mà apply for cái program này. Thì có những cái program như là Section 8, Reconstructions, Emergency Repair, Buying Powers or Rehabilitations. Những cái program này, tất cả những cái program này you have to be, quý vị mình phải có đủ income thì mình mới đủ điều kiện để mà apply. Nhưng mà ngày hôm nay thì mình đã có thêm chi tiết để hy vọng rằng sẽ giúp đỡ quý vị trong khi mà quý vị bước vào những cái khó khăn mà cần sự giúp đỡ của Grand Prairie Housing Authority. So Gary, come back with you. I'm really excited to know that there are programs besides Section 8 because now that our waiting list is long. Yeah, and some people are still having difficulty, you know, dealing with how some people can't afford to buy a home, but to maintain it, to pay tax, and all that stuff sometimes create difficulty for them. And so I'm really glad that if they income is qualified, that there are programs like this out there to help them. So I'm very grateful of that. So let's talk more about the buying power. As a realtor or broker, I visit a lot of different, you know, situations where people wanted to own a home, have never owned a home, wanted to go into that route, but don't know where to start because of their income. And so what can we need to know more about? What should we know more about that program? And hopefully our viewers out there could qualify for this, that can reach out to you guys.
Absolutely, I hope so. The Buying Power program assists first-time home buyers with purchasing a home within the city of Grand Prairie. Okay. It is a $5,000 grant.
Okay.
It does not have to be paid back, and there's no lien attachment to the grant.
Okay.
The grant can be utilized for two different things. We can pay up to half the down payment, and then the remainder can go towards closing costs. And it's a very simple grant to work with. We service, on average, the last few years, somewhere between 25 and 45 of those grants to assist first-time homebuyers within the city.
So it didn't have to be a house that rehabilitated by you guys. It could be any house, anywhere in the city of Grand Prairie for the first-time buyer.
Actually, it's very important to us that through this program, we can effectively assist, especially younger families, to get into their starter home so that they can start with the progress of the American dream. The American dream for all of us is to own our own home.
Right.
And this is our way of assisting those who wish to live in Grand Prairie with the American dream.
And I know that Grand Prairie have a very good school system too. I mean, there shouldn't be a reason why we couldn't just go over there and live there. So then it's $5,000, and basically if you income qualify, then you can just go ahead and looking for a home in Grand Prairie and purchase it, and it had to be a first-time buyer.
Correct.
Okay.
And you know, usually the folks have a real estate agent working with them, so we work closely with them, and you know, in terms of them getting their paperwork done and getting everything in order, and you know, once they've applied with us and we determine their eligibility, then it's really just a matter of them finding a house. We do an inspection that has to meet a certain standard. We don't want to put folks in a house that has a lot of problems, especially if they're first-time home buyers. So there is an inspection process, and it has to pass that before we can fund it at closing. But it is a very simple process, and we're really proud of the program. We've helped so many families get their first house.
Kính thưa quý vị, một trong những cái program mà Grand Prairie Housing Authority have là mình có thể xin được cái tiền 5.000 đồng cho những người nào mua nhà lần đầu tiên. Nếu quý vị mua nhà lần đầu tiên thì quý vị có thể chọn những căn nhà trong thành phố Grand Prairie, và nếu mà income của quý vị qualify thì quý vị sẽ apply, và cái program này nó sẽ dành cho những người mua lần đầu tiên và có thể được 5.000 lận quý vị. Nếu mà quý vị nào plan to purchase home in Grand Prairie, then recommend that quý vị nên check cái program này, thử coi mình có đủ điều kiện hay không, và nếu mình đủ điều kiện thì được đồng nào hay đồng nấy quý vị, nó được bớt 5.000, mình có thể dùng cái 5.000 đó mình trả cho một số tiền closing cost hoặc là một số tiền down payment. Great. So now let's get back into Section 8. One of the programs that I love as a landlord. I know that when it comes to Section 8, as a landlord, I didn't have to worry much about background check on those people. I already know that they already go through the program, so at least they're being checked. And then the money we're never short because it's always deposit to my account monthly on schedules. But a lot of landlords don't know that. A lot of landlords are afraid, worried of the unknown. One of the things that they worry about is inspections. Would my house pass inspection? And that's what they worry about. Now, what do you have to say about that? If somebody worry about inspection, now I think if you're a good landlord and your house is in check, you shouldn't have any problem passing the inspection. But what do you suggest on that?
I would have to agree with you. I would recommend that you do a background on your future tenants. The program does not determine suitability. We basically, families are eligible based on their income. Whether they're a suitable tenant or not would be the responsibility of the landlord. We do background checks for admission. So I would still recommend that you do.
Yeah, because time, you don't know how I should do that.
Exactly. But as far as a unit passing inspection, I do not believe that there are any major requirements. We do look for the condition. We look for a health, safety condition. There are some cosmetic things that are involved. There are requirements that we look at the security of it. We look at the windows. We look at the conditions of the floor and the walls. There needs to be a place for storing, a place for cooking. There are some things that are going to be tenant preferences. So it may be that that's what a tenant likes as opposed to whether or not it passes or fails inspection. But I don't see a landlord who has interest in someone who cares about the things that they own struggling to pass a housing quality standards inspection.
Do you guys short in landlord?
I would think that at this time, I always encourage landlords to participate in the program. I wouldn't say that we were short in landlords as much as I would say the shortage would be in available units.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So if there is a shortage, maybe available units
They
not
don't
so
not
much
available
in
in that.
landlords.
And so it had to be in the city of Grand Prairie also too.
No,
right?
ma'am.
No?
We do service. Our jurisdiction does include at least a 50-mile radius around
That's good to know,
the Metroplex. So we do have families that reside in Dallas and Irvin and Euless and
See, that's
some of those
news to us because, you know,
yes.
I mean, everyone would assume they're just Grand Prairie only,
No,
but
no.
okay, that's awesome. So for a landlord, when we have house listing, we usually put a sign in front. Those who have license would would advertise in the MOS. Now, when it comes to Section 8, if we wanted to advertise our house so that people in Section 8 would know more about us, is there a program or is there a website that we go through or what?
We provide a list to our families, and we would encourage any landlord who had property that they wanted to be a part of the program to contact our office. We have a list that we update the first of every month. It is a list of the owner or contact person, the number of bedrooms, the address of the unit, and that's something that we update and provide our families and say, hey, this is a list of landlords and units that we know are available and are willing to participate in the Section 8 program.
It's so wonderful to talk to all of you guys today, especially to know a little bit more about the program that you provided for the city of Grand Prairie, and also the mileage around it a little bit. But our time usually, it's always run out, and I was hoping to get you guys again, maybe a couple months down the road. But before we leave today, do you have anything that you wanted to say to our audience?
I would just like to say to your audience that it's our pleasure to be here and bring this information to you. We at the City of Grand Prairie work diligently to make sure that we provide programs that are of assistance to everyone. If you have any questions regarding the programs we're providing, feel free to go to gphns.org, and all of that will be there. And our office phone number is 972-237-8176. Again, we thank you for having us, and we look forward to hearing from many of your viewers.
Awesome. It's my privilege to have you guys here. It's very hard, people, to be able to invite this many people that come to the show, especially people that are important like you guys, because I think your job is tremendously amazing. The thing that you do for people, the effort, the patience that you guys have to go through and to understand all the family needs and help them accordingly. So I really appreciate not just the day that you guys here, but the thing that you do every day. Thank you so much for coming to the show. And we're about to go into New Year, so I wish you guys all the luck, the health, and happiness the whole year, especially for you at the Year of the Monkey.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Xin cảm ơn quý vị. Một lần nữa, Phương Thảo xin cảm ơn quý vị đã đến với chương trình Phương Thảo Talk Show. Hy vọng rằng 30 phút vừa qua sẽ đem lại những thông tin cần thiết cho quý vị. Nhân việc mình đang ở trong cái mùa xuân, thì Phương Thảo xin kính chúc quý vị một năm mới an khang, thịnh vượng và đặc biệt là sức khỏe dồi dào. Xin cảm ơn quý vị.